We're here on the dollar yen 15-minute time frame, and there's an awful lot going on in this chart. We have a head and shoulders, we had a double top, it then pulled back for a 26.18, so I'm playing for a couple of targets on this potential trade. Going to have to do the higher time frame on this one, so let's go out to the dailies and take a look at this. And the first thing I'm noticing here on the daily time frame is that if I put a structure level on here, which is our highs, we have failed to violate these highs. And so recently what the market has done, we had a move higher to retest those highs. We came down, we double bottomed, we broke to the upside, we pulled back, and then we've just been consolidating between this range. So let's go over to the 240. Now a slightly different story here on the 240. We can, sorry, just let me go out to the dailies. What are the dailies? Right, so what we also have on the dailies is this. So we've had these highs here tested for 5 times now, and they have held, and it does look as though we're wedging. So if we are back up at our highs here, could we see any type of reversal at that zone? Typically you tend to get double tops, and if we look at what actually happened here, you can clearly see up here we had a double top that formed, but it wasn't just a double top. We had a nice move from our structure lows, then we saw a pullback, then we saw a new structure high, then we saw a pullback, then we saw a new structure high, then we double topped, then we violated to the downside. So this is now a 26.18 opportunity, and if I just go ahead here and put a fib on, you'll see that we have come into that 618 and tapped it. However, I don't trade 26.18s by themselves. I will use them as an entry into a head and shoulders. And this head and shoulders then, as I say, we've come from the lows of our structure. We've had a nice momentum move. We've had a couple of left shoulders at double head. This type of setup for me is fantastic when I look at head and shoulders, because it gives me a conservative entry and allows me to play for the best extended targets. So we could potentially see a move all the way back down to the lows here. I'm being a little bit more conservative, so if I bring back on the orders, I'm looking first of all for the pullback here, which is what we're getting, and then I'm looking for a continuation lower. Now if we look for an AB equals CD pattern of this move, which is typically what happens, then we're only looking at the market coming down to this zone, but I do believe the market can come significantly lower. So I'm looking at this area right here, the structure level, the market coming down to here. I'm 4 pips above that 11300 psychological number. And secondary targets, I'm not playing again for a retest of the lows here. I'm playing for this level right here. So this, and pretty much this as well. So a little bit more conservative there with secondary targets. Very nice opportunity this though. So stops go above the high, because the 26.18 is played out. I've only gone 5 pips above the high, so 28 pips of risk. 44 to target ones, and 80 to target twos. Okay, and we're back again, and as you can see now we're very close to targets here. 38 up, soon to be 39. Hopefully I've moved to break even, and then we'll simply hold for second targets. Remember, we're playing 4 pips above that psychological number, that 11300. So this will be a lovely winning trade, this, and there we go. There we go, 40 pips for target ones, not the 44. And fingers crossed here that we can now make our way back down to get those secondary targets. And we're back for an update on this trade. I have just altered targets slightly. If we look here on the 240, you can see the closes of the candles and the wicks. We actually have an area which I'm just looking at now, which would be a safer place to take targets, and you can see that we've just hit them there. So I'm going to go ahead here and close this position out. So there is the potential there that we could go lower. So what did we bank on that trade? We just banked 66 there. Just 1 second. Okay, 66 there. I'll have to be quick. I've just got another trade about to hit and I want to record it. And 38 earlier. Total banked on that trade 52 pips.